These guys made an oopsie. This guy's girlfriend made an oopsie. This simp definitely made an oof. Pewdiepie made an oof. Everyone has made an oof. I'm Poppy Hamburger, and this is news. Welcome to Oof News. I'm Poppy Hamburger. I'll be your host tonight. We got a whole lot of little oofs out there. We've got a simp who made an oof. We've got, of course, Pewdiepie's oof. And just a whole lot of different stuff out there that we're going to talk about. This will be the new #1 YouTube news network. Because unlike certain networks whose names we shall not say, but they're named after mischievous animals in the animal kingdom and the anime world, again, we won't say their name. We like to keep an unbiased opinion unlike those people, and we don't peddle in fake news. So first things first, we got Logan Paul. What is it, Low Gangster, Maverick, whatever the hell they called themselves for years, versus Floyd Mayweather in an exhibition that took place. Now, the understanding is that this exhibition ended up going the distance and there was no determined winner. As a news reporter, I personally, cannot allow my own opinion to be thrown out there, but what you're trying to tell me is that a man who was an Olympic gold medalist, who has been boxing for easily over half of, if not more than Logan's life, went into the ring, went the distance with someone who's only trained for 3 months. 3 months of training. Now let me say what 3 months of training is to a professional fighter. That's like I don't know. That's like some inexperienced kid, teenager, I don't care, 20-year-old, whatever, who's trained for 3 months, who's never been in a fight in his life, walking up to me saying that he can beat me. I am going to mollywop him. Like, you got to be kidding me. So these two, the actual take from the pay-per-view, from what I understand, the report that came out there, first off, it was $50 a pop. Now, they supposedly had, from what Showtime reported, about 1 million viewers. That means that's $50 million. Now, the deals broke down to where Floyd Mayweather automatically received $10 million as his purse right out the gate. I mean, the guy is a Hall of Fame boxer now. You are not going to get him in the ring, especially after his so-called retirements, for anything less, I don't believe. But he was also able to take half of the pay-per-view. So at 50 million, you get 25 million from that, plus his 10 million, he gets 35 million just for stepping into the ring with a no-name boxer or a YouTuber. All right, 35 million. Logan, on the other hand, received at least 5 million, and he gets the right to actually say that he stepped into the ring with one of the world's, or one of all time's greatest boxers. That's absolutely insane. Now, I know that it's been a thing where, he and his brother, they've been out there fighting anybody and everybody, more so the little brother than Logan. Logan, I believe his only other fight that I really know of was with KSI, who's another YouTuber who actually was a boxer growing up. But the other one, I mean, it's now been a basketball player and a retired, like extremely retired UFC fighter who I don't believe actually won a match in the UFC. Maybe one. I really didn't keep up much on that guy's career. Ben Askren, as a matter of fact. But it absolutely astonishes me that Mayweather would have even thought to step into the ring with this kid. However, there is one thing that'll get a man to do just about anything. $35 million. I mean, you put that kind of money out on the table, I think just about anybody will jump in the ring with anybody. I'd jump in the ring with a shark at that point in time if I needed to. It's $35 million. Why not? This was all just a money grab, and I'm sure a lot of people felt some kind of way about this fight. And I know a lot of the little, the low gangsters from years ago, the Mavericks, are all like, no, Logan can actually fight. He's a great boxer. Kiss my ass. That's just not the case. This was a money grab on both of their behalves. And you know what? From the business standpoint, I can't say there was anything wrong with it because they got 1 million people to actually watch it. And they both walked out of there pretty much unscathed, except for, maybe a couple of the images. I don't know if some of you guys saw where it looked like Logan's hair was going one way while his face was going another. I mean, but they walked out of the ring pretty much unscathed. It just befuddles, and if you like that word, let's try it again, befuddles the hell out of me that it would have even taken place. But you know what? That's the world that we live in. That's what entertainment actually is. And if we're talking about it from an entertainment standpoint, there was obviously 1 million or more people out there who were entertained by it. But we can't give any more weight to that whole situation. Money grab. Next news.
My girl just came home from work, so I called her mom upstairs, and I called her upstairs, and I showed her the message. And I told her, "You cheating on me?" I told her straight up. I told her, you cheating on me, right? She said, no. She said, no, I'm not cheating on you, bruh.
Now, if you guys don't know who this is Nadex, and he is actually a Twitch streamer. Typically does things like NBA 2K, different games like that. Sometimes just like little chats, so on and so forth. And that little clip was actually of him talking about how he found out how his girlfriend cheated on him. And the thing with it is this: not only did she cheat on him, but she had been texting and making phone calls with the guy over a certain course of time. Someone that she worked with. Even more so, went into details about the whole relationship, to where it found out that, the guy was messaging her talking about love and marriage and all of these other things, having kids, so on and so forth. And it's a very hard situation for somebody to deal with something like that. Nate, first off, I'm gonna say to you, if you end up seeing this, or any of his fans or anything like that, I'm not talking bad about the guy. I typically won't talk bad about anybody because, again, this is not, for me to throw my opinion out there. I'm just a lowly news reporter, and I'm reporting the news. But, bro, first and foremost, don't go online where you have a bunch of people who are gonna trash talk about the situation, who are gonna, call you out for calling her out, when the fact of the matter is, you don't need that kind of stress. So if you watch the whole story, he decided to stay with her. NANI? Let me say that again. He decided to stay with her. Now, how long it actually took for him to realize that was a mistake? Well, let's find out.
I just broke up with my girl. 4 years down the drain. But I just can't do it to myself.
Yeah, so about a week to 2 weeks later, he was recording that last video saying exactly what he said. And if you realize, one of the first things he said was 4 years down the drain. Because a huge thing, and this is what a lot of times women don't understand about guys, is that time is one of the most important things. Time should be important to damn near everybody, but to a guy it's a little bit different because of a lot of different things that I really won't go into. But he talks even more so about like time, effort, money spent, so on and so forth. These are all of the things that kind of in a relationship, when it comes down to it, the things that a guy will provide, for a woman, security, just all of those types of things, where a lot of people are like, well, that's not what's most important. This is, but that's what's important to the opposite sex sometimes, or to specific individuals. But over the greater portion of men, yeah, time, resources, security, in affection are all in that top tier for us, because you have to remember, guys, we're the ones that end up choosing who we're going to be with. I mean, ladies, you all can choose, whether or not you like a guy for whatever reason, so on and so forth. But when it comes down to a relationship, the guy's usually the one who's like, you know what, yeah, let's make this happen. And it's a cold shot to find out the way he found out. Not just that, but to realize, and I don't know if he realizes this yet or not. I'm sure he has over the course of the time that it's been since everything took place. But this wasn't a one-off sort of situation. She was doing this on a constant basis. He even talks about how, for some reason there were times like she was at work for 12, 13, 14 hours in a day, and supposedly her shifts should have been done, or whatever the case may have been. But here's the cold part about it. Yeah, I said that. The cold part about it. When he confronted her, she came back saying, "Oh, well, the reason was for, this, and this." And those reasons are not reasons that you go and cheat on someone. In fact, there is no reason that you go out and cheat on someone. That's just irresponsible. But one of the things that people don't understand, and a lot of women don't understand this, and it's something that actually upsets a lot of guys, which is when you cannot take personal responsibility. That's like the worst thing in the world. It's almost like a greater deal of times when there's a problem in a relationship, or a woman goes and steps outside of the relationship, things like that. They cannot take personal responsibility for it. It just doesn't exist. Look, man, I hope that this guy's doing okay. He's a young guy, and the really, really bad part about it is that this is going to affect him in a lot of different ways. I mean, he may never trust another woman again. It may be a situation where he's always on his guard because of this. And what could be even worse is because she's taking no personal accountability on the situation. Well, you kind of gave her fuel to go out and kind of put herself out there in the world. She can say all the different things she wants about how, he might have been gaming too much or streaming, which was his job. But if she goes out now, because we know we have a world full of simps, those who think that everything that a woman does is 100% right, they will follow and watch and listen and bash him because of the fact that she went out and cheated, which a lot of the people in the chats and things like that seem to have been doing the whole time when he was actually talking about it, or on, his Facebook page or Twitter or whatever the case may be. They were, a lot of the guys that were in there were kind of trashing him for it, trying to drag him. But if they were put in that situation, they would be just as hurt as him. Some people more than likely worse. I mean, some just walk away from and say, you know what? Well, you wasn't worth shit in the first place, and that is what it is. But hey, don't give her the ability to go online and start doing her own little stream and things like that and trashing you. Just be the bigger man in this situation and say, you know what? I'm going to do me. I'm going to be all right. We good. I'm out. Before we go any further, let's go ahead and take a look at our sponsor. From the DAU, it's Kermits Ramen Shop. How the hell did we get them? Whatever. But next up, before our next story, we're going to go ahead and take you out to our man on the scene reporting the weather. It's what's his name? Ramon. Yeah, I can't pronounce that. Whatever. Let's get the weather.
Bruh, we in the desert. It's hot than a motherfucker.
What the? He was about to trying to get us demonetized around here. What the hell, y'all got security doing the weather now? It was huge. Anyway, so from our last story, this kind of transitions us perfectly into our next story. SIMP 1000. Yeah, we won't even say his actual name. Let's just call him Derek. This guy, if you know anything about him, well, his whole thing is that he's a self-proclaimed relationship expert. Now, let's go ahead and give you a little bit of insight into what we've got going on here right now. If you thought the last story was a little bit crazy,
when I get married, I want to do it because I found somebody I not only give up my life for, but give up my lies for. Shit, put my guard down for. Only share my body and heart with her. Otherwise, I'll stay single.
Oh, sorry. So the situation is, as you see, this guy, he's been making videos on YouTube, on Facebook, IG, just anywhere and everywhere you can possibly imagine. His face was there. And what he did essentially was attempted to, more than anything, gaslight a greater deal of women. He took advantage of their situations. He took advantage of certain things that, some guys do understand as to how women feel towards men. But of course, he was then caught cheating. Now, he did a whole interview or a little video with he and his wife to the tune of talking about the situation, how, how it was a mistake and how he would become a better person from it and their relationship would grow stronger. And at a latter point comes around talking about, oh, I found Jesus, so that makes me better, so on and so forth. But one of my favorite things that this guy actually did was he turned around and reviewed his own confession / apology / excuse rally, whatever you want to call it. And let me tell you, this thing gets a little bit dicey.
We don't even put anybody on pedestal. Nobody. And I think a lot of women did that. And I'm not even going to say it's the women's fault by themselves, because this dude, he never really showed his struggle. We understand all we're all humans and we all make mistakes, but he never showed those mistakes, not real, like or something like that. But he never showed that side, so it's not really all on women. But I've seen a lot of women put this dude on pedestal to the point of idealizing him and even comparing their man to him. Like, they'll compare their man, good, bad, and ugly, whole story to Derek Jackson's snippet.
Now, bruh, wait a minute. So everything that man just said right there, that creature, that simp, that thing, everything he just said is literally everything he's been telling women to do for the past, I don't know, 5, 6, maybe 7 years. I'm not sure. In every book that he's ever written, every interview he's ever done, literally telling women that their man was supposed to measure up to the ideals that he put forth. Now, let me explain something to you real quick. As I said, he's a self-proclaimed relationship expert. Now, I'm sorry, I have a goddamn psych degree, and I understand that you can't do things like that. When it comes to relationships, let's say this. There's a lot of generalizations and different things that come into play, and those generalizations are generalizations for a reason. The reason is the fact that a greater number of people do these things. There are exceptions to rules, so on and so forth, but you are never the exception to all rules, and you can't count an exception as the rule. this guy went around and he preyed on women, on a lot of their insecurities, on a lot of the hurt that they felt in certain situations, so on and so forth. But what he didn't do was actually do it out of the kindness of his own heart. Now, with that clip that we just ran by, one of the things that you may not know is right after saying that he wasn't going to put it all on the women, but he does blame them for glorifying his bullshit, he then plugs his book. Plugs his book. Are you kidding? Wait, what? Breaking news. Dude's still at it. So after all the crap that he put out, after everything he said, the whole interview that he did, or the little video vlog he did with his wife, he's still at it. The mistress, after he put these videos out, called him out on another individual's show. Not only did she say that it was something that had still been going on, even through the videos, even through the video his own wife put out, making herself look quite asinine, I might add. You then find out that the backgrounds to a lot of the videos that he was doing, the places he was sitting, was at his mistress's house. The man was snitching on himself in his own videos, in his own thumbnails. Bruh, you gotta have some kind of just brass ones and a hell of a lot of audacity to sit here and tell people that they can do better, tell guys that they're trash, tell women that guys are trash and they should be looking for someone like him while out sleeping with your mistress. I couldn't even get that word out right. Your mistress. I'm sorry, people. That simp level of it's over 9,000. Now, on to our next story. Oh, this is a good one. Well, I hate to do it to him, but Pewdiepie, we got you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Me. It's gotta be a pink one too. I don't want a brown one. They don't look good. That's the only reason. Don't quote me. God damn it. Nice making videos.
Wow, Andy's on a bridge again, and he dragged his wife into it too. I don't understand this man. Oh, but before everyone out there gets their nips twisted, their pantaloons in a bunch, if you will, what I want to say is, if you look at that clip, you can even tell he was in distress after making what essentially was a simple comment. What did he say afterward though? Why is making YouTube videos so hard? And you have to understand why. I think we all know the situation with Pewds, okay? Wait, is that SpongeBob? Got him. No, seriously. We all know the situation with Pewds. I mean, that's just something that's been hanging around for years, and we're going to go ahead and get rid of that and bring it to a happier point, to a much more grown-up young Pewdiepie. So I never got to report on what it was, or record or say anything about what it was that happened during that point in time. We all know the bridge incident, the fateful bridge incident, as people want to call it. But the fact of the matter is, it's one of those situations where it's something that I think he's apologized for. He's done numerous different things to kind of get beyond that. And for it to be a situation where in that little clip we just saw him to even feel like distressed or having to say what he had to say because of the form of the axolotl he wanted to find in Minecraft, that's a little bit much for somebody to have weigh on them all the time. I don't know the man personally. I've never spoken to him. What I can say is I had never watched his videos. And then one day it just so happened that I did. And now I've watched every single one of them. And it's kind of like watching for, over 10 or 11 years of content now nearly. You've watched this guy kind of grow into the man that he is right now. And it's a good thing to see. Throughout that time, people judged him, they kind of stomped on him. Of course, he put himself in a lot of positions that may not have been characteristic of who he actually was, but kind of put him in the limelight. I mean, when you have I think at the point in time of his whole bridge incident, he had over 70 million or more actual subscribers at that point. When you put yourself in that sort of position, or when people put you in that sort of position, take you on a platform to a high level, and you've been doing it for such a long period of time, of course people are going to come after you. That's just the society that we live in now. I mean, no matter what, there are those that kind of deserve to catch those types of metaphorical hands. When it comes down to it, some people are just blatant bigots and racists and a lot of other things that I can't even say as far as words are concerned when it comes to a YouTube video without somebody coming at me saying, oh my God, I can't believe you said that, and maybe my kid watches this, and hey, that's perfectly fine. I try and keep it as PG as I possibly can, but that's just not gonna happen all the time. But the words I want to use right now, I will hold back on, because again, I'm trying to keep my opinion out of it. When you're in the limelight like that, people are always going to come after you. The internet has created a sphere where not only can the stupid respond to the stupid, the intelligent to the intelligent, one person to another person in general, but where the trolls, and if you want to call them haters, or people who are closed-minded and whatever else, they're all there as well. Now, what he said on the bridge should not have been said. Now, I personally am the type of person who, if you say that to me, I'm gonna hit you in the mouth. That's just facts. I tend not to be. Now, what he said on the bridge should not have been said. We all can agree on that. Most of us can agree on that. Some people were like, yay, he said that. Yay, he's great, whatever. Well, to you, I say, fuck you. But on the point at hand, yeah, he shouldn't have said it. But what he did do is he did apologize. And then the other part of it is to play devil's advocate, so to speak. Context. Context is a huge, huge thing. Now, on Xbox Live, anything like that, where you can actually chat with the community while you're gaming, there are tons of people who said exactly what he said, who say worse than what he said, so on and so forth. Do I condone it? Absolutely not. But context in his case, not all the others, but in his case, comes into play, because it wasn't a situation where, in some way, I might have to say, did he really know what it meant? Yeah, I don't care if he is Swedish, whatever. You know what that meant. But in saying it in that light, I'm trying to play devil's advocate here. Again, I don't condone it. But it wasn't a situation where he knew who it was that he was saying it to. It wasn't a situation where he was saying it in the manner that it potentially could have been said in. I mean, think about it this way. Language, when it comes down to language, context plays a whole role into it. I mean, if I were to say to you, so desu ka, versus saying, so desu ka, there is a context there. We all understand. That's how it works. I mean, but you have to take into account his change after that. You know, maybe he still did a couple of things that people saw as controversial because they wanted to see them as controversial. But what I can say is, out of all the craziness, you know, prior to and after, the kid has done a great deal for the world as far as charity, giving his own money, different things of that nature. You know, the different fundraisers he did online. I mean, there was the charity water. He did stuff for Save the Children. I believe another one was Red. The World Wildlife Fund. I know he gave money to BLM, to the Black Lives Matter movement. I believe that there was something with the St. Jude's hospitals. So it's not to say that this covers what it is that he did at that moment, but versus all of the fake news, and this is kind of the point I was making here. I'm surprised no one actually got a hold of that clip from that video and blasted it all over like the other news networks, news networks. I'm surprised they didn't come out and do something much worse than what I just did with it. And it's just to bring to to light a valid point that this guy PewDiePie, Felix Shelber, I can't see how it's so easy for people to nitpick on him. All I did was pretty much take something that he himself was taken aback by and made it look in a certain light. And this is what, other news networks and journalists will do when it comes to a person who has over 100 million or more, followers. Essentially, what that is, it is 1/3 of the United States population that follows him on his YouTube channel alone. Not saying that it's all US followers. What I mean is, globally, he has 1/3 of the US's population that follows him. And therefore, he is the perfect target for news, views, clicks, and everything else that the media needs. So to you, first and foremost, Felix, Marcia, congratulations on you guys' wedding. I know that was a while ago, but I'll say it, especially since I'm using you to make a point here in, one of my videos. I just say congratulations to y'all. Congratulations on your success as a YouTuber. I mean, hitting 100 million mark, that's a huge thing. And I know a lot of people, kind of come after you having that form of success. And that's perfectly fine. As long as you remember to keep doing what you're doing, I'm sure everybody appreciates it. Now, to all of you out there right now, remember, please do go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, and make Oof News the biggest news network on YouTube.